You don't need a massive, dramatic overhaul to change your life. You just need one tiny shift. Not a complete lifestyle reboot, not a radical, unsustainable diet or a 5 a.m. morning routine that you're just going to drop again in a week. Trust me, one small positive change, the kind that seems almost too insignificant, this is what you need. Here's the thing. That tiny shift, it is your gateway to your next level. And that's why I'm calling it the gateway drug. It triggers momentum, it builds self-trust, and before you know it, that small, tiny little habit becomes the foundation for massive transformation in your life. So today, we are talking about your level up gateway drug. It's the tiny lifestyle changes that create lasting, unstoppable growth for you in your life. Now, I was thinking about this last week, and I was just thinking, it's always those tiny little changes. And I was talking to my husband about this, and we were comparing it to, how you have those gateway drugs. It's like, people start smoking cannabis or marijuana or whatever, and then they move on to other drugs, more things that, they're going down that slippery slope. But it's like, or for example, here in the UK, back when I was growing up, they had these things called Alco Pops. So it was like sugary, sweet, colourful drinks. They were clearly marketed at children, which is ridiculous. But it would be those types of things that would be at parties when you were, 18, 16, 17, 18, 19. These types of things that got you started on the other alcoholic drinks, like the stronger, harder things, which again, it's a gateway. It's a negative thing. It's really bad. These are bad gateways. And these will negatively impact your life. There are gateway drugs for everything. But what I'm really focusing on today, and I thought to myself, well, yeah, but there's actually gateway drugs for really positive transformation in your life. And guess what? It always starts like that. There's always like a catalyst that you have, something that makes you want to change. And you probably have in the past thought, right, I need to change everything. I have to go in a complete glow up. And yeah, that's fun for some people. But if you're someone who doesn't like change, or you're someone who is quite reluctant and you're so comfortable where you are for various reasons, probably emotional, then you don't need to worry, because I'm here to tell you today that tiny changes are the ones that create lasting transformation. Most people think that it requires massive action. And the truth is that people that are already living their dream lives, their best lives, that look amazing, that feel incredible, that are achieving absolutely everything, those are the people who realize, no, it starts small, it starts tiny. And it's those tiny little things that can build up and create serious momentum in your life. Because when you commit to a tiny positive change, what happens is it sets off a domino effect. That's how it works. One small shift can actually reprogram your subconscious mind, making it way easier to build on it. So here's an example for you. And this is actually funny because I have started doing this. So I used to record this podcast or this YouTube video during my son's first nap, which was at like 9:45 in the morning. And I would sit down and I would do that. But then I started making other changes in my life. And I was like, well, I'm not doing these, I'm not staying up later at night, I'm not doing this. Why don't I just wake up slightly earlier and I'll start recording them in the morning? And that's what I do. I wake up right now, it's 7:15 a.m. before my children are actually just about to get up. But I'm recording this podcast right now. And so then I can upload it, I can do all my admin, I can do all this kind of thing. And then it buys me so much more time. So for example, during that first nap, what I can then do I can be on the walk pad with my standing desk and I can be planning the next episode, and I can use his long nap to do other things, to clear my to-do list, and to actually sit down and do some things that are more meaningful and restful for me. So if you start to do that, you decide to wake up, 30 minutes earlier, an hour earlier. At first, it's just extra time and it's a real, I don't want to get up. But then maybe you start doing something really positive, like working out, journaling, meditating, or even just having self-care time. A month later, your mornings, even a week later, your mornings are becoming totally sacred, powerful, and like a huge catalyst for personal growth. Okay, so let me know if you've experienced this in your life before in the comments, where one tiny shift led to something bigger. I would absolutely love to know your story. Let's move on. So your gateway drug, it could be totally unexpected. So here's the thing. Your level up trigger won't always be what you expect. And it might not even be directly related to your big goal. So sometimes the thing that creates the biggest impact in your life, the biggest things, they aren't directly related to your goal. So say, for example, you're focused on getting fit and healthy, but instead of doing the usual thing where you would crash and burn, dive into a really strict plan, you just simply start by drinking more water. You simply start by switching out your latte in the morning for an Americano or an espresso, and you take more water with that instead. That small upgrade makes you feel so much more energized, so less sluggish, and then you naturally you want to move your body more. So you're like, I feel good. I'm going to get on the walk pad today. I'm going to actually, when I've got free time later, when I'm watching that show, I'm going to go on the treadmill, or I'm going to go on the bike. I'm just going to do a bit more movement today. I'm going to get out and walk. Suddenly, your body feels stronger. You're hitting the gym without overthinking it, because you're like, wait, why am I going to the gym when I can sit at home, when I can be nice and warm in my home with my family, when I can watch something at the same time, something that directly relates to my goals, maybe a YouTube video, or maybe I can watch something just like lighthearted, but at the same time, I'm enjoying myself, I'm with my family, so I'm not trading in that time, and I'm actually getting fit at the same time. One small habit creates the ripple effect, because you don't have to stick at something you absolutely hate and detest. You're giving up that gym within a month. If you don't like being there, if you don't like what you're doing, and you're not spending time with your family, and you're having to give up that precious time, you're not going to stick with that. And why should you? Why not just say, well, I'm going to do a home workout, or I'm going to incorporate these, like I do, small bits of almost like neat things into my day. So I'm on the walk pad during his first nap. I go out a walk during the day with him. It's not technically like what people would call a workout, but I'm moving my body. So you don't force these changes, but they naturally evolved into your lifestyle and you enjoyed them, so you stay with them. Now, if this is resonating with you, I'd love you to hit that like button, because in this series, I'm sharing all the practical ways that you can build lasting transformation through small, sustainable shifts and actually maintain them. Okay, let's move on to the final point for today. So here's how you find and stick with your gateway habit. So how do you find it? Okay, because you're probably thinking, well, you say that it's not always big, it's not always noticeable. Here's how. Number one, start ridiculously small. So right now, just close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, breathe in, and just think to yourself, what's that one change that you've been thinking about making that you could make right now? This is going to really have a huge impact on your life. Now, you don't know that it will, but the point is that you're not thinking, oh, will it have a huge impact? Can I measure this? Can I tell this is going to happen? No, right now, just sit and think. Okay, what could I do that feels positive for me, that I know is going to upgrade my life? If it's the getting up early one, you need to download the Perfect Day Planner. You will absolutely adore it. It's in the link below. It gives you basically a whole structure on how to set yourself up for complete success and happiness in your life, all starting with designing your perfect day. So you can get some ideas in there, but start ridiculously small. So it could be like, well, for example, I'm sitting right now with a cup of hot but it's nice and warm and comforting. It feels the same. It's not tea with extra calories with all that milk and stuff like that in it, so I'm still intermittent fasting. It's just one habit. Think about one habit that you could do, like 2 minutes of stretching, or just walking around the block, or walking around, in a local park somewhere nice that you feel energized. Just try it. Give it a try. Try out new things and see what's going to stick, what you really enjoy doing. And then my second tip is stack it onto an existing routine. So attach your new habit to something you do daily. For example, everyone brushes their teeth in the morning and at night, maybe even during the day. Why not meditate for 2 minutes after brushing your teeth? Or why not have your personal development or this amazing podcast that you're listening to right now? Why not schedule it so that every single morning when you wake up, you're cleaning your teeth and you're listening to high vibrational positive messages that are going to help you to achieve the goals that you actually want to in your life? Okay, when you do these things, they become automatic and they become easier to maintain, but you need to start somewhere. So it's just attaching this new habit onto something you already do daily. And then finally, track your habit and celebrate wins. So you track it to build momentum, and that really helps. So the satisfaction of seeing consistency builds motivation for you. I have a Fitbit and I absolutely adore this Fitbit fitness tracker. I've had all the fancy ones, the Apple Watch, the Whoop, I've had them all, and I always go back to the Fitbit. I find it not overwhelming, not stressful, saying how tired you are and tracking all this kind of stuff, but it gives me a really good insight. If I go to the Fitbit right now, I can tell you that I haven't logged in today, but let me have a look and see what my figures were. It really helps me. I love tracking my sleep. So I only slept for 7 hours and 32 minutes last night, but if I look back over the week, I've been making a big effort this week to do that. My son wasn't feeling very well, so there's a few hours where I only had about 7 hours, but I still made an effort to get to bed as early as I could, and I've been hitting 8 hours for a good couple of days way before that. So it tells me all the information I need to know. It keeps me consistent with my steps, and it just keeps me almost not competing with myself, but just striving for those good results. So if I see, for example, last night, let's see, I had 7 hours and 52 minutes. That's not too bad. That's nearly 8 hours. But because I didn't hit that 8 hours, I'm kind of thinking, I wish I had gone to bed that tiny bit earlier. So tracking it is a massive bonus. And I don't have like the most up-to-date Fitbit. It's one I've had for a while. You can pick them up relatively inexpensively. They are an amazing tool for your health and wellness. So find something like that where you can track it, where you can see results, and you can start to appreciate all the amazing changes that you're making. So my final thoughts for today really are that small shifts equal huge results. You don't have to wait for this massive life overhaul or this massive opportunity that's going to come and change your life. You don't have to join this big boot camp or huge program. It literally only takes one small positive change habit to activate your transformation and activate your next level. Because one new decision can change your identity, who you are, your mindset, and your reality. It can change absolutely everything for you. And honestly, that's how it starts. You start with your gateway drug, quote unquote. You start with the first little thing, and then it moves and progresses on and on and on until eventually you're like, wow, I've made so many positive changes just from that one little thing, just from waking up earlier, just from walking a little bit, just from being a bit more intentional with what I'm eating, just from eating smaller portion sizes, all these types of things. It creates a snowball effect because your body loves being healthy, and it will look for other ways. Once you start being healthy, your mind looks for other ways to say, oh, hey, you're healthy now. That's who you are. Let's look for other healthy things that could align with us and our goals and what we love to do. And let's do that. And that's essentially how it works. Because one decision, one just tiny gateway shift, it can change everything. So I want to ask yourself today, what's the one tiny change that I can make right now that could change absolutely everything, that could snowball into something massive? I want you to comment below and let me know exactly what that is so that I can cheer you on. And don't forget, if this episode inspired you, then hit like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications, because we are just getting started and your next level life is waiting. And it all starts with one tiny step, as you can see from today's episode. If you love this, you can access amazing resources as a manifestation bundle that I've prepared for you, including the perfect day planner that I mentioned earlier. You can access all of that at mrsmanifestation.com/gift or using the link below. And don't forget to check out mrsmanifestation.com for other amazing resources there. Don't forget, your level up potential, it starts today. Your next life is waiting. This is where your transformation begins. I know you can do it. Get started. Let's move on it today and make it happen. And I'll see you in the next episode.